Hello, everyone. This is Jason Hyde again with Crossroads Tax Advisors, and today I am with Robyn Reis. Hello, Robyn. How are you today?
Hey, Jason, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. So, Robyn is with Bent Ericksen and Associates, and she is an HR consultant. She has been in the dental industry for over 25 years in a ton of different capacities. So, if you're looking for somebody that knows the industry, this is her. This is that person. So, besides being in the dental industry, she resides in the Ohio area and loves to be outdoors with her college age kids and her family. So, Robyn, we are going to jump into this. We have been doing a series basically on the important and the optimal team for a doc to have, whether that's a dentist or a healthcare professional. We have really tried to include all the different aspects, and the HR consultant is extremely important to the success of a practice. And we're going to talk a little bit about why. So let's jump right in and say, tell me what you do as a member of the team at Bent Ericksen and Associates. What do you do for a doc when they contact you about being an HR consultant?
Great question. And again, thanks for the invitation to be on
Yes.
your show today. So, an HR support person really is somebody who is going to be there for the owner doctor. We were just talking, Jason, about when a doctor comes out of school or wants to open their business, there are so many moving pieces and parts that they don't know what they don't know, and they do have to find themselves with support people that know the things that they don't know.
Hmm.
And one of those is employment law and employment compliance. And when a doctor gets just one employee, 95% of employment laws apply to them. And a lot of doctors don't know that. And as you and I were just discussing, there's over 150 of those employment laws that
That's a lot.
apply immediately. That was shocking for you, right? And you can
Yes.
imagine the doctor that it applies to, it might be shocking for them too. And, what's sad is we do get a lot of clients that come to us after the fact, after they've encountered a legal situation with an employee. And, the what's interesting is doctors are now more at risk for employment claims to be filed against them than malpractice claims
Wow.
to be filed against them, because again, it's an area that they really don't know much about. So Ben Erickson Associates is an incredible organization, over 35 years in the employment compliance space. We work with clients through all 50 states and help them create great relationships with their team members. And we do that through employment compliance. What is it like to be a member of our team? What are your benefits? So as an HR consultant, we not only help them create that employee manual, but also to create that relationship. We can guide them on bonus structure. We can guide them on fair wages and benefits that they can offer. And also, the hiring and firing part of
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
too. So we really do serve as a resource, much like you at Crossroads serve as a resource for your clients.
Yes, yeah. And one of the things that we hang our hat on too is keeping the doctor chair side with the patients, focusing on that end. I can't imagine coming out of dental school, medical school, getting my practice started and having to worry about all of the diagnosis and the treatment and everything of my patients and then also my staff, but worrying about 150 laws that pertain to having a staff, and so to piggyback on that, why is it important to hire somebody who has experience and is specific to the healthcare and dental industry?
Great question. Again, going back to the longevity that Ben Erickson and Associates has had in the dental space, we know what it's like to run a business. We know what an endodontist goes through. We know what a periodontist goes through. We know what a general dentist goes through. All of the specialties, we understand how their day-to-day business runs because we've had people who are in the dental industry, who've worked
Mhm.
in the dental offices, who become dental consultants. But we also have a legal team and a legislative team to make sure that we keep our finger on the pulse of any laws that are coming out of the government that would
Hmm.
apply to a dental practice. And so some laws apply to a dental practice specifically, 1 to 10 employees or over 11 employees or over 50
Hmm.
employees.
Yes.
And then there are a lot of laws that don't apply. So it is really important that a dentist or a healthcare professional would want to partner with somebody that is very familiar with the business of
Hmm.
their industry. Much like, again, accounting and tax experts.
Yes.
Having a dental CPA is also important too, again, to know the business of dentistry. To really
Yes.
help, keep them. And it's funny, you say you like to keep your clients chair side. At Ben Erickson Associates, we want to keep people out of jail. we don't want you to we don't want you to
Yes,
go to
yes.
jail.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, yes. And in today's world, there are a lot of do-it-yourselfers, and I'm sure that you run into this all the time. So, which is leads me to my next question. When should a doctor hire, Ben Erickson and his associates hire Robyn and talk to you? And how do they pick the right one? What sets one apart from another? And how do they know that this is the right one for them?
Great question. And Jason, I would tell you, when should they hire Ben Erickson and Associates? Yesterday. um,
Yes.
it's funny. We have dentists that, haven't even broken ground on their brand new office that will hire us to help them create their manual even before they have their first employee.
Hmm.
Those are the ones that are really sharp and really understand, okay, I want to set myself up for success. I want to protect my future and my investment in my education and my new business.
Hmm.
We also have dentists that, knock on wood, have had no issues for the last 30 years and also discover that, gee, there are things changing so rapidly. I better make sure that I'm protected and I'm covered. So they will come to us for our help. So what sets us apart? I really have to think it's our leadership. I also have to think that it's our network of consultants across the country, as well as our incredible team at headquarters that are certified in human resource management that really stay on top of everything. There are people like me that are we're considered BOPs, BOP, BOPs. Bent on people is really what it stands for.
I like
And
it.
so those, we're personalization specialists and HR consultants, and we partner with the practices we work with, and many of us have long-term relationships with our clients over, we've seen them grow from the time they open their doors until maybe the time they sell or retire. And so I think it's really the people behind Ben Erickson that
That's
makes
great.
us different, because we really do like to get to know our clients and get to know their team members and really help them create a long and fulfilling business.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Thank you. So, what are some specific issues in today's climate that docs need to be aware of, that you guys deal with on a regular basis? What are those hot topic items right now?
Well, I think we all would agree the shortage of team members in the dental
Hmm.
industry, and it's hiring and finding qualified talent. Um, First and foremost, I think is probably a hot topic for many dental practices across the country,
Hmm.
as well as staying up with the employment laws. And there are lots of changing laws happening. I think we learned that very, very quickly a couple of years ago.
Yes, yes.
Right? I don't need to say it.
Mhm.
But we, gosh, that was changing so rapidly. And those that stayed connected with us throughout that process really learned a lot, and were able to do the right things for the right reasons at the right
Mhm.
time,
Yes.
and really got a crash course in employment compliance and human resources. So, what we do specifically and how we do help, during these hot topics, these hot buttons, it's making sure that they are compliant and up to date with the changes in the laws that apply to them, as well as the hiring and growth of their team. And as we mentioned before, Ben Erickson and Associates has partnered for a hiring service with All Star Dental Academy, and so we
Mhm.
help together find quality team members for practices across the country and do all the interviewing, take all the burden, all the time consuming tasks off the client so that we become a part of that practice and we help find those talented team members and they get to hire them.
Yes, that's great. That's great. Sounds like a true asset and a true benefit.
It
So
is. It's a
talking
great
about,
service.
yeah, yeah. So this whole series for us has been the optimal team, as I mentioned. We've talked to marketing and lawyers, and obviously we're a CPA firm and lenders, and obviously we talked to Larry, who's also associated, Larry Guzzardo, who's also associated with the All-Star Academy.
He
How do
is.
you, as an HR consultant, work together with the other pieces of that optimal team?
However we can. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, it's whatever serves the client the best. And if we have to have a conversation with maybe their malpractice carrier because maybe
Mhm.
there is an employee issue that needs to be addressed, or maybe we need to talk to their marketing people about, are we going to put together some materials for recruitment? And
Mhm.
how can we communicate that message together? So really, however we can be of service to the client, that's what we want to do. And we
That's
do
great.
work with a lot of people like Crossroads and
Mhm.
other companies to really help serve the client the best.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Thank you. So last question today. One piece of advice that a doctor could implement, from your point of view, from our discussion today, whichever it is, what is one thing they need to implement today after listening to this discussion?
Oh, that's a loaded question. But and it's so near and dear to my heart is, it's the people, right? Systems run the business, but people run the systems. And so you
Yes.
really need to take great care of your team members. And so if a doctor's listening today and they haven't had a one-on-one conversation with all of their team members today, tomorrow, starting next week, start scheduling, put aside some 10 to 15 minutes just to
Mhm.
check in with each one of their team members to say, how's it going? Because the cost and the emotional and financial stress that puts on the practice when a team member leaves,
Mhm.
um, you know, at that point, it's kind of late to save that
Yes.
relationship. So work on those relationships now, have those conversations, do those check-ins, and make sure that your team is where they need to be, and if there's you can head off any problems before they become a big problem, much like treatment, right? It's a
Yes.
little
Yes.
bit of decay, let's
That's
take
right.
care of it before it becomes a big expensive problem.
Yes.
So that's my advice is check in with your team, open those conversations.
Yes, that's wonderful advice because it's, like we've said, relationships are extremely important and the people make the system run. So if your people are good, then your system has a better chance of being successful. So that's great.
Absolutely.
Well, Robyn, I do appreciate your time today. And if somebody out there wants to get in touch with Robyn, please contact me, Jason at Crossroads tax.com, and I'll be happy to make that introduction for you. And we wish you all the best. And we've mentioned All-Star Academy a couple times today. I know Chris and I are excited about going down there in May, I guess just 4 weeks away, and being there for the All-Star Academy event, in Florida. So thank you very much for your time, and we wish you all the best. And I'm sure I know we'll see each other soon, but I'm sure we'll work together with a client again soon.
Jason, it's my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me. See
Yep.
you see you soon.
Yep. See you soon.